Hello, friends. Welcome back to Mia Talks Season 3. Happy holidays. I hope you had an amazing Thanksgiving. I hope that your belly and your heart was full, whether you were spending it by yourself or with all the ones that you love. I trust that you've been keeping yourself safe and making sure that others are staying safe as well. And we're so excited as we are right in the middle of holiday season, as we are in the final month of 2020, to talk about drama-free living today with the amazing Camilla Flynn. But when it comes to safety, I am so thankful for the sponsor of Mia Talks and these great social media talks, the one and only David Pence of David Pence Allstate. David, you guys have been busy. You were raising dollars for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. You were out making sure that the kids had a happy Halloween. You made a really COVID-safe trip down to Disney World. Tell me what life is like for the David Pence Allstate team and how critical it is to stay safe during the holiday season, sir.
Well, it's obviously been a busy year in spite of the circumstances. You know, it's one of the things about insurance is it doesn't stop when crisis has happened. And so my team has, been really super engaged through the whole year. We've changed how we do things, obviously. I'm sitting in the very back of our office now, but we still see our customers either by Zoom or we talk to them over the telephone. And, mainly we're doing a lot of our products now over the phone or virtually compared to talking to people face to face like we did.
Well, and let's also tell people when it comes to coverages. We talked earlier this year about doing a coverage checkup. Obviously, there's still more probability for accidents on the roads and things like that. What are the best ways for people to do that coverage checkup and even know the coverages they're carrying right now with you, David?
Well, first and foremost, I always tell everyone, the best thing you can do is just like you would do for your physical self, by going to your doctor at least every 2 years, is to also see your insurance agent about every 2 years. At least talk to them over the phone and check your coverages. A lot of people think, oh, I'm paying that premium and, I'm pretty protected. But it's not till the time that you have an accident is when that's really important to know exactly what you have. And so the things that my customers would say that they find different is that we try to set up insurance reviews with them at least every 2 years. We go over their coverage to make sure that they not only know the premium that they're paying, but they also know the coverages that they have to protect themselves.
And if people want to get in touch with you, it's super easy. 912-961-9617. Tammy Toller, Angela Watson, the David Pence Allstate team, they're always doing something amazing for the community. So tell me what you guys have planned ahead for the holiday season and how you guys plan to spend your holidays drama-free.
Oh, drama-free. Well, that's we've got a daughter getting married on Saturday, so we sure hope it's drama-free. That's been a big part of our whole thought process over the last couple of weeks. But as far as, we're staying home. I think that's the best way to do it. We've always been really, and I'm probably not alone there. A lot of people get stressed on how are we going to fit this person in, how are we going to fit that person in, how are we going to fit that person. And, one thing that COVID has shown us in 2020 is that it's just slow down and spend time with your significant other. And we're actually staying home. So we're going to stay as pretty much drama free as we can.
Well, I thank you as always for being a sponsor of Mia Talks. And like you said, living life drama-free, slowing down, making sure that you're safe and that you're covered. And big congratulations to your daughter for the wedding this weekend. We can't wait to troll all your pictures.
There you go. Yeah, we look forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we'll let you get back to work, David. And I'm going to do a super thank you. You guys talked about taking the pressure off of cooking this holiday season. We have fresh off the dock seafood delivery service. Camilla, have you ever had fresh off the dock seafood delivery service? Crab legs, lobster, boiled crab, steamed crab. Have you ever had it before, Camilla?
Oh wow, I haven't. I haven't. Okay. It sounds delicious though.
So Kizzy Pinkston and her entire team between Savannah and Hilton Head, they will literally cater your dinner tonight to an entire holiday party. So all my seafood lovers, their contact numbers right there. It's 843-304 2055. They even do a huge event every single Sunday. They do a seafood Sunday over on Hilton Head. You can go out, have seafood, let them completely make sure that you feel relaxed and drama free. So make sure you guys check out Fresh Off the Dock Seafood Delivery. All right, so Camilla, it is time to talk about you, neighborhood girl gone global. Hey.
Yes. And listen, I'm at work, so forgive me where I am. Do I need to move? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, absolutely. We can hear you fine. And if people don't know, you are over at Kirshner Furs.
Yes, that's where I am right now. We have a customer in the store shopping right now as we speak.
So let's get into Camilla. I take for granted that everybody knows who you are because you're a singer, you're an author, you are a host, you are a motivational speaker, you're an Oprah Global Ambassador. Tell people who you are and about, like, share your story with us, please.
Oh gosh. So how much time do we have, first of all? You said share who I am. So I'm just I'm multifaceted. I wear many hats, as you can tell. I'm a marketing consultant here at Kirshner Furs. So they're giving me a little bit of a break so I could talk to you and be on your amazing platform, Mia. Thanks again. So this is part of what I do. I'm also a media personality as well. I'm a voiceover person. Consider myself a coach, a mentor, someone that inspires people, and just overall helping people whenever I can.
And that's exactly what you're known for. We were talking about this show and you're like, Mia, I got to go help this lady. Hold on, I'll be right back. And I'm like, I love it. Let's get into Camilla because you actually reached out to me about wanting to take on this specific topic about drama free and taking on the uncomfortable stuff to grow your life to the next level. Tell me what was on your heart and wanting to bring that to everyone today, please.
For me to live a drama-free life, and I want to make sure that everybody can hear me, Mia. I'm going to keep talking, but I'm just going to move myself to a little bit of a lighter area. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Give me 2 seconds and I'm going to do that, but I'm going to take my phone with me. So hold on one moment. I think this might be a little bit easier. There we go. It's a little bit cooler out here, but customers get excited when they're shopping.
Are you on camera? We don't see you outside. Maybe your camera's just catching up. So we'll give that a second to catch up. But hey.
Okay. There we go. You got me?
Not yet, but it might just have to catch up. Let's see here. But you know what? Okay. Go ahead and share your idea about wanting to take this topic on.
Okay. I think living a drama-free life. So let's start over. I'm gonna let you re-ask the question to me so I can make sure I answer it correctly.
Absolutely. So you actually approached me about taking on this topic because you wanted to unpack the uncomfortable conversations or the things that we need to address that hold us back from moving to the next level of our life.
Let's see. Can you still hear me, Mia?
I can absolutely hear you. I think that your camera's gotten frozen. So if you want to, because this is live time and in 2020, do you need to pop off and pop back on to make sure that I can see you? That everybody can see you?
Can we do that? Just give me
real quick if we can. I got this. I'm gonna talk about no drama living. One, I think just understanding how important it is. I actually saw somebody. Go ahead, Camilla. I'm gonna pull you off and then get logged back in. So someone commented in leading up to this show that drama-free living is masterful and intentional living, right? And getting to a place of peace. And peace does not mean perfection, but where your soul is steady and it's steady in the sense of no matter what's coming or who's coming, and with so many drastic changes happening in people's lives right now, how to not get into a spiral, right? And obviously, if you've been watching these talks for a minute, if it's been amazing soul teachers like Jules de Jesus Fritz, when anxiety and fear, and it might not be your stuff, but when it comes in from other people, maybe there's someone that's always questioning your performance, or there's someone that is bringing up past stuff, right? Like stuff that doesn't matter. It's not relevant to who you are right now. How do you get past those triggers and stop letting people keep you in that same mental space, right? And then being able to go, okay, I'm not going to react because I don't even feel that way about myself, or I don't even feel that way about a situation. And a lot of times, especially when it comes to reaction, it's because someone else put something on our plate, right? Like it wasn't like, oh, like you're going about your day, you're living your life, you're making your choices, you're trying to keep all of your balls in the air. And then someone or something comes up and you're like, wait a minute, all of a sudden I feel like my reaction is out of my character. It's not who I try to be every single day. And so going, okay, instead of being reactionary or again, playing into old patterns, getting into a drama-free headspace. I think, Miss Comia, are you back with me, my love?
I'm back.
Okay, we can see your pretty face.
Hi, you're back.
Where are you, gorgeous lady? I know everybody's like, hello, Camille. We just want to see your pretty face because you always look so glam.
Right. Can you see me?
No.
Oh my gosh. I'm actually in the car. That's so weird. My camera's on.
I can't see you.
Oh, wow. My camera's on.
No, we can't see you.
Oh, no.
Hold on. You might be coming in. Hold on.
Okay.
All right, we can definitely hear you, but we like your pretty face. Let's see here. Make sure you've hit your camera. You got your camera on.
Right, camera's on.
Okay, we can't see you.
That's weird. And it says, I'm in the show. Camera's on.
You're in the show, but we definitely cannot see you on camera. Let's try. Let's see here. Yeah, we can't see you, my love. So we might have to have you log out and log back in one more time if you want to go ahead and do that. And then
okay.
While you do that, if we can have people who are streaming and who are being so patient, hit the comments with questions about drama-free living. Now, this is, y'all know, like the Lord gives you situations to really test your patience. Because see, we're still making our way through this. There's not stress. It's not like, oh, okay, is it a disappointment? No, because honestly, technical stuff happens and you have to be patient. And I can only imagine if you're a teacher, a business leader, instructor, you have been in these situations a lot of times and you have to just be patient and know that no matter what you are putting out there, it is all going to work out. So Comia just had to get relogged in. I think that there's a lot of technical stuff going on today because this is probably the seventh technical thing I've encountered today, which shout out to all of the amazing engineers and tech people who keep us all connected on a regular basis. No easy feat. Come on, we want to see you. Oh yeah, mama. Woo! Y'all give some likes and hearts for Comia so we can see your face. Because listen, my not settling for you just talking into the air and not seeing your gorgeous face. So yay, we are here. Right. So
I'm here.
While you were getting logged in and out, we talked about drama patterns, also called generational curses. Generational curses, so you can have your own pattern and then think that that pattern's your pattern, and that can go back like mama, grandma, great granddaddy, 3 generations ago. So there's the pattern, and then there's the reactionary stuff, right? So the pattern's more like what's in your DNA, right?
Right.
And then the reactionary stuff is kind of like a social media timeline. It's just a bunch of stuff out there, and you're trying to like, right, matrix it to get through not reacting to other people. So that was my synopsis, is like on the couple of quick different ways to look at drama. But this was something, Mia, that was on your heart that you wanted to sit down with people about getting past the drama. Can you just talk about what was on your heart?
Yes, I think at the time, what was on my heart is that sometimes you have to be intentional about who is in your space. Like, everybody shouldn't be allowed in your space. If that person is bringing negativity, there's never any positivity. And they could be people that have been in your life for like 20 plus years. It doesn't matter. Sometimes when it's time for them to go, you know, God will start pruning people out of your life as well as you grow and you move along in this journey. And it's okay. We have to be okay with letting them go, because sometimes we go back and pick up what he has removed. They can't stay. And so when those people are always trying to attach themselves to you, there's always something negative, or it's always the, you know, never the inspirational piece that they give you as a friend. You know, sometimes they don't need to be in your life. Now, that's not to say you don't need genuine people in your life that will help give you a criticism, but, you know, to help you along. You know, they're doing it for your better good. You do need those people. You don't always need people that are, you know, applauding you on every time and every turn you make, but you do need people that have your genuine best interest at heart. So if you find that those people that are in your lives that are toxic, you have to remove them. I think that's very important. And a lot of times we don't, you know, we just allow them to stay there, and we never really address the elephant in the room. And there are times that I just decided to address the elephant in the room with some situations. And sometimes I really didn't have to. God just removed them naturally. And so I didn't have to worry about it. They fell off on their own.
Okay, so you said a lot there, and I want to make sure, because your camera's freezing out on us again, and I'm not quite sure what's going on. It might just be a signal location, a signal area.
Okay.
We might need you to move around so we can see you again. So the thing that you talked about was identifying the what to you, and what for all of this would you consider toxic or passive aggressive, or the negative, like red flags that we need to be aware of?
I guess some of the red flags are the people that pretend to support you, or they'll say little snickety things like, you know, girl, if I were you, I wouldn't do that. Like, why do you really want to do that anyway? You know, it's just always those little hidden things, or they can hide the shade in a joke. Like, I've literally had people to do that. They'll make it like it's funny, but they're really serious. So you have to read in between the lines sometimes with people when they're really not genuine with their compliments as well.
Okay, so it's understanding, just so I can make it make sense. And again, I'm hoping I can get you back fully on camera, because we want to see you.
I'm moving around and it's still freezing up.
Yeah, go ahead and stop your camera for a second, and then start it back up while we're talking here. Go ahead and restart your camera for me.
Okay.
So go ahead and let's see here. It's still not bringing you back on for some reason.
Huh.
So let's go ahead and take on what you said about it. It feels like support, but it's not, because I think that one, support is critical to everything that we do. If it's like, hey, I'm in your corner, I want the best for you as a mom, as a friend, as an employee, as a business owner, especially when you talk about a time like now where it's literally the support of local people supporting local people that are going to determine what happens in our, you know, in our community, in our state, and in our country. I think that it's such an essential, and I think also you want people to be happy for you, right? Like, I think that's huge. And no matter what your happy looks like, that somebody's like, yeah, I'm glad that you're happy. Do you think that sometimes that could come from, like, maybe it's someone's not happy within themselves, or that because they haven't had that support, so they don't know how to be that, because, like, maybe there you go. Yes. Okay.
I'm back. Listen, we're not going to talk too fast. I'm back.
This is a show called Jesus Teaches Us All Patience. I like how Jesus teaches me patience, because it's in real time at all the time. Because let me say this, you can't be what you haven't had. And let me say this, as believers, that I believe that God promises us all the richness and the abundance. Like, I believe that is an open, all-inclusive invitation, right? But I do understand that sometimes it can be like, I'm just trying to make it for myself, so I can't give that same energy to be that support to you. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes. And I think that happens a lot of times with people, Mia. They can't give you that support because they haven't had anybody to pour into them. Some people are able to
go there. What does pouring into someone look like? So if someone's watching this right now and they're like, yo, I want to show up for her. I want to, I'm not even talking about like on a public place, y'all, right? Like, not even public platforms. You were at Thanksgiving dinner last week. You might have been a part of an uncomfortable conversation. You have somebody you're not talking to. There's a DM you won't answer. There's a text you won't text back. And you're like, but yo, I want to show up better. What's a pouring in that someone can do tonight?
I think a pouring into, and even if people have to pour into themselves, you have to find a way to even find positive affirmations, even if it requires you to Google them on YouTube, watch videos, listen to inspirational things. Like every day, that's part of my morning ritual. I'm listening to something inspirational as soon as I wake up. Before my feet hit the floor, I have inspirational videos I watch on YouTube. I read inspirational quotes. So that helps stimulate my mind. I think it's important within the first 5 minutes when you wake up and I pray, it's what are you pouring into yourself immediately in the morning? That first thing, because you have people that are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, or 60s that have never had someone pour into them a positive word. So some people have lived their entire life with someone always being negative, always saying you'll never be nothing, you'll never amount to anything, your dad was trash, your mom was trash, you know. So when people have so much of this compounded in their spirit, it's hard for them to show up for anybody every day. And in the midst of COVID, for some people, it's just good to be able to get up in the morning. Just be present in that. That's difficult for a lot of people right now. Just to say, I'm up, that requires a lot for some people. Because sometimes they might not even feel like getting out of the bed.
The word of taking responsibility for pouring into yourself and giving yourself permission to be your own safe space for you, right? Like being able to go, if no one else is cheering me on, if I'm not getting it at home, at work, in my social world, that I am advocating and being my own biggest fan for myself. And when I say that, I'm not saying that from an ego place, but like you said, that don't just settle on the comfortable emotions, right? Of anger or frustration or rejection. Let's hit on, I mean, rejection's real, and that can come in the abandonment of a parent, a relationship, in this time where people can't be with people they love. So they're like, this is really lonely. I think it's also to me like sitting and acknowledging the emotion first, right? Like just going like, okay,
You do.
I'm
You do.
feeling this, right?
Yeah, you have to sit in it. And a lot of times I tell people we make things look easy, and it's not. As an entrepreneur, you don't always see the good, the bad, and the ugly. So for me as an entrepreneur, I'm a person that comes from a family of all educators. Like, I have cousins that are in different arenas, that are nurses, attorneys, and all these other, great professions. I didn't want to go down that path. I didn't want to be an educator. I've always just dreamed as a child to be an actress, a superstar. That was always my vision, like woo woo. But you have to really push, because it's like swimming up current. When your family has a certain career path or profession, like you knew, okay, we're going to college, okay. And then once you follow that path and you realize this isn't my street, it takes a lot to say, I'm going to hang a left right here. I know you want me to stay on 95, but I need to get off on the on ramp. This is my exit. So it takes a lot of courage to do that, to make that shift and actually go after everything you've ever wanted, all within your being, to do so when society really wants you to do another. So it takes a lot, even when it doesn't make sense to other people. It takes a lot for you to be by yourself and say, okay, this is the path I really want to take. This is what I love doing. And you're not sure what it's
So
going to look like. House in the dark.
how did you find the courage? Because I think that's you show up as this bright, brilliant personality, people connector. How did you find the courage within yourself to go, okay, family, I love y'all's dreams and y'all's lives, but this is the thing that I've got to do? Because let me apply that to many different things. That could be a choice in who you love. That could be a choice in what career path you go into. That could be so many different choices. How did you find the courage to just be good with you?
Well, it was hard. It was hard because you don't want to disappoint those that have given you direction. That's number one. You have to get past the point of, oh gosh, I don't want to let them down. I don't want them to be disappointed in me because I did not follow the path that they put me on. So that takes a lot, Mia. That takes a lot to push through that. And it's not that they're not supportive. They just want to make sure that whatever choice or path that you take, you will be able to survive and sustain your living. Now, as an entrepreneur, it's not easy at all, because there's no net there. There's no steady paycheck on the 15th and the 30th. There is not that. There is none of that. So everything that you do, you've got to go hard in the paint for, because you never know when your next check is coming. So it takes a lot. It takes a lot of prayer, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of tears that have been shed, and a lot of praying and hoping and wishing, and just like, okay, God, you put me out here. I need you to hold me here. So there's a lot of those days. I mean, a lot of them, and they keep coming. Those days don't stop. There are days that even when I think about it, I get choked up and teary, that I was like, did I make the right decision? But in the larger scheme of it, I feel like God plants these seeds in us as kids. Like when we were children, we all aspired to be something great. Because for me as a kid, I was always a dreamer. I was always the person that would sketch out clothing, even at 5 and 6, or my mom would buy me like little scrap material where I would just try to design things and sew things by hand. So that was something that was in me as a kid. But, I changed paths, and I said, okay, I'm gonna go to college and I'm gonna go into social work. I enjoyed working with my clients. I enjoyed it, but I was never fulfilled. I was never fulfilled on those type of jobs. That career path never fulfilled me. I was always very, very disappointed. and a lot of days just frustrated because of the belittling that I would receive from supervisors, or the condescending tone they would have with me. And I was just like, I'm not supposed to be here. And you feel it in your gut when you're on a job where you don't necessarily belong. You feel it deep down in your gut, but you have responsibilities. You have bills to pay, but you just have this, oh God, I don't feel good feeling in your soul. You can't stay. And that's how I felt. And that was like years and years ago, me coming out of college and going into the workforce, wanting to take on the world by storm and save everybody. But then you realize once you get into it, it's like, no, this is not my path. I'm on the wrong street. Like, I'm sorry.
Okay, you said so much. Hold on. I want thank you, Kimberly, for feeling Miss Kamia's message and her challenge to be honest with yourself so that you can be freed up. When you were talking about being an entrepreneur, you said, it hits you and you feel it. Mm-hmm. Just sit in that for a second, because every entrepreneur is feeling that right now. Come on now. Every business owner, even employees, everybody's feeling it right now. Just sit in the weight of what's on your shoulders every day. The smile you're trying to keep on your face for your customers, all the things you're trying to do to look out for your employees, how you're trying to figure out how to pay everybody. Like, sit in what is on you. Because again, if you sit in it and call, I'm stealing this from Iyanla Vanzant, and I know you're an Oprah ambassador, so let her know that I'm quoting her. You have to call a thing, and you don't have to call it out on social media. You don't have to call it out to everybody, but you gotta be real about what's on you.
You do.
So you have that weight. And then you talk about, Mia, the weight of your dreams. So now there's the thing that God put on you that you're like, I think Victoria talked about it, like you put yourself in a box and now you're trying to get out of your box, trying to get out of all your roles. But then the thing of saving everybody, the whole point of these talks are not for anyone else but you that's watching, that if you do right by you, the rest will better for everything. But if it only starts external, if the problem's only out there, if the problem's only with other people, it's like the biblical, like the stick is in your eye and you can't see clearly because you're blind, right? So it's basically like being able to see what's the real in your world, from the dreams to the pressures. And let me go here, Kamia, because you are an Oprah ambassador. My God, I mean, I think like when people talk about, if ever there were a thing that they like to do, that's like holy buckets. So now, you talk about having to find courage, but then you end up in a space that you're like, oh my God.
Right. It was life-changing.
Let's talk about that good. Let's talk about your good of this grind that comes with blood and sweat and tears and late nights and all that kind of stuff and extra jobs. Let's talk about putting in work to get that good.
And the thing, I think what people don't realize is that this didn't happen for me overnight. I've been in the grind over 25 years. And I feel like now my seeds are coming to harvest. Like, I have worked hard, nonstop. I have lost friends along the way. I mean, I've lost a lot along the way. The sacrifices that I made, huge sacrifices that some people just would not believe. And a lot of the times, Mia, I realized along this journey, I have yet taken a breath to celebrate the things that I have done.
So let's celebrate. Hello.
I haven't taken a moment, it's just like on to the next and on to the next and on to the next. But I was like, I need to sit down and just breathe in and breathe out. And I think a lot of us as women need to do that and be like, applaud ourselves, be like, girl, you're doing a great job. And even the women that are watching this live today, I want to tell you, honey, you've done a great job. Like, you are a bad chick. You're doing it. When you look back at your accomplishments, it's like, oh, wow. Like, I didn't take the time to even celebrate it because we're so focused on to the next and on to the next that we don't inhale and bask in what the things that we've actually accomplished. And they're great and amazing things. And I didn't, even when I worked with Oprah as the brand ambassador, I didn't take time to even celebrate that. I celebrated for a moment.
Well, you see, though, look, Tanice is like, congratulations, or she's like, let's celebrate. Listen, if you, wherever you are watching this, I have a glass of water here, wherever you are, whatever you have, cheers to you, Comia Flynn. Cheers to you, everybody that's watching, because you are amazing. And I think this is the thing, though, that, okay, so drama-free living, I believe this, you guys, whatever is your test will become your testimony. Whatever is on you, whatever the thing is that it just stays on you, no matter how much money you have, how many accomplishments, how many degrees, the thing that stays on you, the thing that breaks you, the thing that jacks your heart up, the thing that the test becomes the testimony. Because if you can keep going through it when it's uncomfortable, when there's no noise, right? And there's no applause. And I think when you just know, like, I do this, like, no matter what, I want to do this. I want to show up for my kids. I want to show up and serve other people. I want to show up when it comes to affecting change and things like that. When it comes to your marriage, your relationships, whatever is breaking you, consider it a gift. And as hurtful, I want people to understand.
Yep.
Keep going. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And what people have to understand, all of those times when they felt broken, that's part of the process to get you to where you're trying to go. You have to have those moments, the moments of heartbreak, the moments of disappointment, the moments of people letting you down, the people that said they were going to be there and then they're not there. All of that is a part of getting you to where you have to go. But you always have to remember, you can't stop in those moments. I don't care if you have to scream. Listen, I tell anybody, I go to the beach, whether it's winter, summer, spring, I go to the beach is where I find my solitude. And at the beach, if you need to go to that beach and scream and yell to the top of your lungs to get whatever that is out, do it. But don't stop. The key is don't stop. There will be, and a lot of times you will have failures, you will have mishaps, you will think you're supposed to go down this career path, and then you realize, I hate it, this sucks, I don't want to do this anymore. Change gears. Nobody's stopping you but you. Don't allow anybody else to create your path, and it's never too late to change your path. I don't care how old you are. If you're not happy doing what you're doing, change it. Change it. And I'm not saying that, listen, let me put my disclaimer. I didn't tell you to quit your job, but take those little steps. Even if you're on that job you cannot stand, you hate it with all of your heart, figure out what it is inside of you that you really want to do. Start working on it. Even if you have to work on it at night, if there comes a time when you have to decide, okay, I'm going to sacrifice and stay up an hour later than usual to work on getting to the freedom of what it is that I really want to do with my life. and be okay with not always having people to celebrate you or cheer you on. Me, on the other hand, I have been blessed with some amazing people in my life, that I have great support systems, and I have some amazing friends that pour into me. But there's a lot of people, what they don't understand, there's a lot of people that help Flynn Style make this wheel turn. You might look like I'm doing it by myself, but I'm not. So I have a coach, Victoria Baylor, shouts out to her. Like when I need her, she's there. My sister cousin, Andrea Hall Houston, I'm shouting her out. I have Trish, so I go for like where we do meditation. Like, so it's a lot of things to make this wheel turn for Flynn Style. It's not just me by myself, because I have to take that time to make sure I'm taking care of my mental, my spiritual, and my soul. So it takes a lot.
So now here you are, and you're in your car and you're doing this talk, and someone comes and tries to trigger you when you're doing this talk. How do you mentally stay focused so you're not triggered? Because when we're in a safe space like this, it's like, okay, I'm feeling calm, I'm feeling peaceful. There's a lot of triggers out in the world right now, right?
Oh yeah.
How do I navigate the triggers so I'm not completely outside of myself and in a headspace I don't want to be in?
A lot of times you have to be mindful where you're placing yourself and where you're going and who you're around also. Because if you know certain people in certain places will kind of as a trigger for you, you have to remove yourself. It's no different than like a crack addict. If you're trying to stay off crack, you're not going to go by the crack house and holler at people, be like, hey, I just wanted to stop by to check on y'all today. No, you're going to stay away from anything that triggers you to put you in a space where you don't want to be in. So you always have to be mindful. If somebody, like a lot of times if somebody invites you to things and you know that that's not who you are, well, then don't feel any type of way by saying, thank you for the invitation, but I'm sorry, I won't be able to attend. So you have to guard your heart and your soul and your spirit and your sense of peace. If anything disturbs my peace, trust me, I will remove myself immediately. Immediately. I don't do drama on my Facebook page. I will cut it immediately. That's something I don't do because I try not to use colorful words like my dad. I try not to use colorful words. So I try not to put myself in certain situations where I have to use colorful words. So
what about if your family is the trigger though? I think that's a real one for a lot of people, right? It could be so many different layers of things that family can bring on. And again, especially at this time. Now, granted, and you heard David Pence when we started this show, because we're not all around each other, that does prevent a touch of drama, a touch.
Right.
But and this is my belief. And you nailed it, Comia. I do believe in peace, right? Like I feel like life is short. If life is short, if you can be at peace with your family, with the people you love, everybody's not ever going to agree. That's impossible. But how do you address the trigger without it turning into World War III or a completely estranged relationship, or now kids are not seeing grandparents, sides of families are talking to sides of families?
I think a lot of times you can't share everything with everybody. So that stops the explosion. Like if you know a person is not going to support you in certain thing in your family, sometimes it's best not to even tell them what you're doing. So that limits where you don't have to worry about dealing with those type of situations. Now, if you put it out there and go ahead.
No, what you're saying is set the expectation, be honest with your expectations of the other person. That's what it sounds like you're saying.
Exactly. Yes. That's exactly right.
Because you were saying if you put it out there, then
be prepared for what you're going to get. You know, and a lot of times, you know, sometimes it's harder for you to deal with family than it is a stranger on the street.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, it's unfortunate. I'm blessed to have a good support group, but you know, everybody doesn't understand your path, and you have to be okay with that. Like, you can't let that bring you down to the point of where you stop pursuing what it is that you want to do based on someone else's opinion. And I think that stops a lot of people. They allow other people's opinion to paralyze them into pursuing their dreams. Because this person said, "Oh, you can't do it. You're not built for that. You don't have any money. You can't afford to do this." That's not how this thing works. And you have to figure out how to have a strong prayer life, because I feel like anytime something, like I said, a small seed God planted into you at a very early age, or even as you're older, something that you want to do, He'll make provisions. He will place people in your life and put them on your path to help you. I've had total strangers to pour into me, and I've never seen them again in life. I run into them in the airport, in the women's bathroom, passing, washing hands at the sink, and somebody will say a kind word just because of, they say, "Oh, you have such a sweet spirit about you." They might say a few more things and then they walk off. I never see them again. And I feel like it can happen to anybody, not just me, but we have to be open to the signs and wonders that God puts out there for us. And I'm not trying to preach to anybody, and I'm not trying to sound churchy, but that's just what He does. That's what He
Well,
does.
and
And
also,
even when it doesn't make sense.
no, go ahead. I apologize.
No, you're good. I'm just saying, like, even when it doesn't make sense to the physical to touch and figure it out, you know, because I think a lot of times people are like, "Well, I don't have money to start this business," or "I don't have money, I don't have good credit, I don't have this." Yeah, those things are important. But if you have the thought, that one idea, if you write it down on a piece of paper and at least just start, you will meet somebody that can help you. But you just have to be prayerful and ask God to show you where I need to go from here. He'll order your steps. You just have to ask. And don't listen to other people's opinions of you, because that has nothing to do with you. Nothing.
Well, and I think it's important to understand, is it you holding you back? Is it the things that people have put on you that are holding you back? Is it something that's happened to you that's holding you back? Because let me say this, that if somebody was abandoned by a parent or someone that they love, it's going to be harder for me to trust anybody because of that hurt. That's a reality, right? And this is where therapy, this is where, like you said, a trusted support system, some stable people who will break that yoke of pain so that you can begin to get freed up in your heart. Because let me say this, Mia, while you and I are talking comfortably, if I have 10 guards on my heart, I can't even get to connect to you, to believe what you're saying, to get past my pain, to get into my dream. So if the pain and the drama is leading, it's not even who I am. It's just all this stuff that's happened to me. So I don't even know what my real dream looks like because I'm trying to hide the hurts, the disappointment, the negativity, the lack of inclusiveness, the lack of a stable check, the lack of an equal check, the lack of equal access. There's so many things that's not normal, right? So like the world wants me to act like I'm normal and all is good and all is happy and you know, and you said this, the good, bad, and the ugly, but like the real is, as a person who was abandoned by their dad and raised by a single mom and lived in over 16 places and left college, paid for myself to get through college. No one thought when I got into radio that was an ideal career choice. It wasn't. So I understand, and let me say this firmly, I understand, and what you're hearing from Comia, say this as well. I understand when you're like, I feel like I'm just out here. And I'm not. We're watching a show that my company owns and runs, but like, if you would have said to that little girl, hey, you'll do these things. No, I was just trying to have trusted, safe people, trying to make my family get along. Like, so I think that, again, like you said, people don't even have the same families that, you know, you're talking about. Some people have families that are tight, and they'll show up and they'll put money in the bank and they'll cover extra shifts at work. But that's just not the reality for some people, right? And so until you can unpack all of that stuff, like all of it,
yeah,
even if you have the most ambition and hustle and go get itness, that stuff's still gonna pop back up. It's still gonna come up. It's still, you're gonna self-sabotage yourself. You're gonna go, you could get to a point where you're like, I'm better than everybody, so I'm not gonna be down. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many layers to all that stuff. And until you deal with the stuff, until you have the conversation or the boundary that's like, hey, mom, you and I might have different opinions, but like, I'm going to make this career choice and I love you. And even if you don't get on the same page with me, I'm still going to love you. I'm still going to honor you. I'm still going to do right by you. Like, you believing in my dreams is not required for me to be here and to do this. And when I say this, I'm slobbering off. But I say this because that dream was bigger than me. That dream, as we sit here, was to be of service. So just because, like you said, other people don't get it, and it can be people you love, people you wake up to every day, and you're like, man, what it's like if they would cheer me on. If it was like, hey, go out there and kick ass today, what a difference that would make. Well,
but you think about it.
Right, go ahead.
But you think about it, Mia, most successful people didn't have people cheering them on. When you hear other celebrities share their stories, they have caught hell in their lives trying to get to where they are. But the one common factor is they did not quit. You have great speakers that grew up in foster care. They were homeless. They've lived in shelters. They lived in the cars. They didn't quit. That's the key factor. Through all their tribulations and everything they went through, they never quit. All of their disappointments, all of their letdowns built them into the person that they are today. And what people have to try, the hardest thing is to deal with yourself. We can deal with everybody else. The hardest thing in the world is dealing with yourself. That's the hardest thing. So until people are really able to confess how they feel with their heart, as opposed to hating on somebody else, admit to saying, I don't feel confident with doing that, or I don't feel like admit what it is that's wrong, what you're going through, admit those emotions. That is the hardest thing in the world. That's hard. That's tough for anybody. So when people come at you that way, it's for a reason. It's not even about you. It's about how they feel inside. And they don't know how to fix that thing inside. Like, who do they go to fix that? But they have to start admitting it, even if you have those self-talks, look at and read affirmations to help building themselves up. And for me, if I see somebody that's doing something that I'm interested and I want to do, I'm going to ask them, hey, well, how do you do this? I want to learn from that person. So if I see somebody that's already where it is that I'm trying to go, you better believe I'm going to reach out to her or him. I'm not going to hate on them. I'm going to try to learn from them. But it takes a lot to admit that. It takes a lot for us to admit our shortcomings. It's hard. It's not easy. Life itself is hard. And one thing about it, during this COVID situation we've been going through, has made life that much harder, because now you're forced to deal with yourself. You're forced to deal with your husband. You're forced to deal with your wife. You're forced to deal with your boyfriend, girlfriend, your dog, your kids, and everything else during this quarantine, because now you're stuck in the house. You can't go anywhere. So you're forced to deal with things that before life was moving so fast, everybody was coming and going. You know, so you're just coming and going, whatever. The kids at school all day, you just get a couple of hours with them in the evening. You didn't have to deal with that. But when the world shut down, it forced us to sit still. And we haven't sat still in a long time for that long period of time. Like years ago, we had Christmas. We have sat down from March to December. Think about that. We've had to sit still from March to December. I'm like a kid. I'm about to lose my mind. Like, what? I gotta sit where? I gotta sit down. Sun up, sundown.
Right, I feel like I should hit theme music. Sit down, sit down, sit down. So this is okay. So this is,
you can turn into a bus up. Sit up. So when you're thinking about that, it's almost like we were all turned into children again, forced to stay inside and sit down and do what? And then you're on your social media all day. So then you're looking at people like whoever you're living with, like you don't even know them anymore because you hadn't seen them in years. Now I'm forced to spend 10 and 12 hours a day with somebody now I barely know because I hadn't seen you in about 30 years, even though we're living in the same house together. Because you're busy. We've been busy. So now you're making me sit still. And now here we are in December. So March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. We just sat down for 10 months. So it's forcing us to do things that we have not had to do in a long time. And it's been challenging. It's been challenging for me. It's been a challenge. So I know it's a challenge for everybody else. It's the same thing. It's a challenge. Like, what in the world? What in the...
Listen, we could talk all day. But I think that you have officially dropped the mic on everybody's seats, mini seats. And you're having to deal with your reality, which, as you said, like, the reality is the real. The more that you are plugged into that real, the freer you become.
Right.
To be not just what you aspire to be, but what you're here to be. So Camilla, I'm going to do something. I did this with Jules last time when we opened the show, and I'm going to do this with you because you know that I believe in praying, and I want to pray for people. I do need to, you guys handle some business really quickly. Shout out to listeners. You heard David when he's show. The David Pence Allstate team, let me pop up their contact information here. Voted Best of the Coastal Empire. They are always doing something good, finding tons of ways to give back while still keeping people safe with Allstate Insurance. You can reach out to them at that number, 912-961-9617. Like his Facebook page, drop him a comment and say, hey, David Pence Allstate team, thank you for sponsoring these talks. Shout out to my amazing sponsors at Fresh Off the Dock Seafood. No reason to cook tonight. If the person in your reel is like, I don't want to cook tonight, honor that. Order Fresh Off the Dock Seafood delivery. They deliver all over Savannah and Hilton Head, literally fresh off the dock crab, shrimp, clams, scallops, oysters, lobster, crab legs, whatever you love, made with love, delicious, and delivered to you at 843-304-2055. Miss Camilla, follow her, DM her, book her virtually for any talks. She's an amazing speaker, amazing singer. I am surprised I have not had you sing on this talk. Do you feel compelled to sing before we wrap this up? Do you feel compelled to give us a quick bar, Camilla?
Yes, and I'm going back in Kirshner first since I had to come outside and talk to you guys for a minute. So I'm back in. So say it one more time, Mia. What was it you said?
All right. Do you feel compelled to give us a little singing? Because you do sing, and somebody that works with the Oprah Network said you need to get back to singing. So I'm gonna hold you to that. Give us a little song before we close this out. I did that. Y'all, come on. I know. I'm like, yes. We want to sing.
Let me see. Let me think of a song real quick, Mia. Oh my gosh, you put me on the spot. A Christmas song. Oh, maybe a Christmas song.
Let's do it.
Is that okay? A Christmas song? Okay.
Absolutely.
I remember all of the words. Let's see. Okay. Christmas time is here. Lots of fun and cheer. Fun for all the children call the favorite time of year. Happy holidays.
We were all in the groove. People are hearting it up. I'm like, wait a minute, where's my hot cocoa?
Okay, I need to keep going. Sleigh bells in the air, children everywhere. Christmas time is special time. It's my favorite time of year. Christmas time is here. Sleigh bells in the air. Fun for all the children call the favorite time of the year. That's it.
Yes! Oh my God! Mia Talks with Christmas carols. I mean, no pressure on the guests next week when Katie Silva and Alondia Harden are here. They might have to sing too. I love it. I love it. That's
Mia, let me put this in real quick. I'll be joining Eric Brack at the JW on December the 18th, 7:30. It's going to be Eric, his daughter, and several other vocalists. I'm sorry I didn't remember their names, but come on down to the JW, guys. If you're out looking and you need something fun to do, still, our distancing, we're practicing that, Mayor, if you're watching. But it's going to be a great time. We're doing some Christmas numbers, and I'm really looking forward to that. So it's going to be a great time for everyone, and it's going to be at the JW Marriott. So shouts out to Eric Brack for that invite. I appreciate it, my brother, so much. Jingles, Jewels, and Furs. Don't forget about that. That's going to be on the 13th at Grand Lakes Club out in Southbridge. So come to that. It's going to be amazing jewelry, beautiful furs. Guys, I love my Kirshner furs. I'm here. So they'll have furs for sale and jewelry for sale as well. And that will be that Sunday from 1 until 5, 2 until 5. I'm sorry, 2 to 5. Yeah.
Are you still doing your holiday market in Pooler? Is that still on the calendar for holiday market? Is that still a go?
That's still a go. The Holiday Expo will be on the 19th. And that's going to be at the Best Western Premier in Pooler. So we're going to have like 20 vendors that will be there. Shouts out to all my vendors. I'm so excited. So come and shop and support them. That's going to be an all-day affair. Doors open at 10 until 5. So come on out. We're going to have folks with goodies, and Zelania with her patches, and Leslie with her paparazzi. I'm going to let one of my teammates, I'm going to let her take over the paparazzi. And we just have so much more great vendors. So yeah, I'm excited. That's a few shouts out.
Yay. Okay, so we've got furs. Hold on. We've got the furs and the one on the 13th. Go through the list again. The 13th.
Okay, so we have Jingles, Jewels, and Furs, which is on the 13th. So that's next Sunday. So come out. That's going to be at the at the club, Grand Lakes Club, in Southbridge.
At Taro Sullivan's place. We love that place. Beautiful, beautiful place. And then your Pooler holiday market on the 19th.
On the 19th. And then with Eric Brack, he's doing an ABC Christmas at the JW Marriott that evening around 7:30. So it's upstairs in the lounge at the JW Marriott. So it'll be other vocalists along with myself accompanying Eric. Yeah.
So Ms. Comia, this show has been long overdue. I am so blessed for all the times you have shared the stage, the platforms, the talks, your grace and your power with me, and allowed me just to be able to be in the room or to work alongside of you. I am so thankful, you guys, again, for each of you making this a choice. If you are watching this later or you're just tuning in, that you know how powerful your life is and that these conversations are dedicated to your success. I am super excited as Comia talks about supporting local. Next week, it is all about local makers. So when it comes to how to shop as local as possible, how to shop online with local makers, we are going to take it on next Wednesday at 4 p.m. I cannot wait to bring these ladies on and tell them about their local empires that they have built, that they are carrying on their shoulders in the midst of all that's going on and thriving. So please do join that local makers conversation next week. We'll get into health. Taylor Washington's going to be coming soon, and I'm glad that I've got Fresh Off the Dock as a sponsor, because seafood is always in protein, low in carbs. So if you're trying to keep it healthy and you're just, I am over turkey. I am so blessed by the turkey we have. I'm like, look, I told my husband, I'm like, baby, I'm good on the turkey. But we've got Taylor Washington, and she's going to talk about holiday healthy eats very soon. We're going to get money right for the new year. We're going to talk about business strategy for 2021. So these shows that are coming, if you can't watch them every Wednesday at 4, you can always restream them, www.miatalks.com. Share them directly off my Facebook. Share them off the Mia Talks YouTube. If you have any questions, you want to be a part of the show, there's ways to find me. You can DM me. It's easy peasy. And I try to answer my DMs as quickly as I can. But I promise to do this before we go. And I thank y'all for being patient for this show today, because it took a few technical whirlwinds. And I will tell you, patience. Thank you, Jesus, for teaching me patience.
Thanks, baby Jesus. Yeah.
But we're going to pray this thing out of here. So if you don't mind, Mia, and joining me, Father God, we just thank you for each person. You know what is on their heart. You know the things that they have been through. You know the secrets. You know the heartbreaks. You know the drama. You know the pain. You know every situation from when they wake up until they go to bed at night. You know what's going on with their families, with their marriages, with their businesses, with their workplaces. You know what's going on, God, in our local community, in our state, in our country, in our world. And God, I just ask that you continue to be you, and that your will, that your love, that your faithfulness remains true, that your truth remains true, that your commitment to us as a people, no matter who we are, where we are, what we've been through, is always true. And I ask, God, that you bless every person, that you bless them abundantly, but that you also free them from the things that are on them, and anything that does not reflect you, God. Please free them so that they can be all that they are meant to be. In your name we pray, and we thank you. Amen.
Amen. Mia, that was beautiful. That was so beautiful.
I love you.
I love you.
We're done. That's it. Like, God, we love you. We'll be back. I'll be back. Camilla's gonna be all over the place, so keep up with her calendar. And I'll talk to y'all next Wednesday. I love y'all. Camilla, stand by for my love. Stand by, sweetie.
Okay.
Don't go anywhere.
I got you. All right. Bye, everybody.